okay if the Supreme Court feels that, yes, I'm going to listen to the matter. But stopping the police from doing investigation, I feel, is interfering into the powers of the executive. Ram Rahim, Dera Sacha Sauda, Asaram, all these places, it is these innocent women, these women under depression who have been abused or who have been forced to leave their homes and sexually exploited. Madras High Court is also a responsible court, and if it has ordered an inquiry, there was no harm in getting the truth out. Because if these minors who have faced sexual assault as alleged by the father, that needs to be investigated.
How are you reading these developments? The fact that the parents, other complainants, the very parents of these two individuals who are saying that this is a wrongful confinement and they have been brainwashed in this case.
The father filed a habeas corpus writ in Madras High Court. This was on 27 August, because the father feels that the two girls are not meeting him at all and they have been brainwashed. But the issue which comes here is of a fundamental right, because if I am an adult, I have a right to choose. I have a right to choose the manner in which I want to live, where I want to live, whether I want to work or I don't want to work. So here the tussle is, I would say, between paternal rights, paternal supremacy over individual fundamental right. And that is what the issue is. But a very valid point was raised by the father, that on one hand you have Sadguru, who's got his daughter happily married, who is enjoying all the joys of motherhood or whatever family. And here my two daughters, they've been made monks. So they have been brainwashed. So definitely the Madras High Court was right to that extent, that all Madras High Court did was that it asked the local police to get all the facts. Because if there has been a complaint where a doctor in the ashram was filed a case for POXO, under POXO, that abusing 12 girls, whatever the truth was, all Madras High Court said was that you get all the facts before us. But now that the matter has gone to Supreme Court has withdrawn, taken away the matter from the High Court and stopped any police inquiry. I mean, I'm okay if the Supreme Court feels that, yes, I'm going to listen to the matter. But stopping the police from doing investigation, I feel, is interfering into the powers of the executive, because the police, in its own right, the IO, if I go by the laws and the acts, the investigating officer's inquiry cannot be compromised. So that part, I feel, should have been continued, because, as you said, Ram Rahim, Dera Sacha Sauda, Asaram, all these places, it is these innocent women, these women under depression, who have been abused or who have been forced to leave their homes and sexually exploited. So that part, I am also there, that women, because here also you see one of the girls who's now in her 40s, she's a divorcee. So maybe she was going through some mental trauma, mental stress, and the ashram people have played on it. No, it doesn't, because see, observation can be made. But if I go by the law of the land, the High Court can make an observation, but it cannot execute it as a law, saying that your daughter, you got them married, and my daughter, this one's daughter, you are forcing them into sainthood. So because, again, I said the fundamental right becomes very important, and the main fundamental rights, even which the Supreme Court has quoted, are from Article 19 to 22, because right to life means right to live with dignity. Right to life, Article 21, also includes your choices, what choices you meet, what profession you want to pursue. But as I said, the problem where the Supreme Court says that the police shall not take any further action in pursuance of the directions of the Madras High Court. I mean, Madras High Court is also a responsible court, and if it has ordered an inquiry, there was no harm in getting the truth out. Because if these minors who have faced sexual assault as alleged by the father, that needs to be investigated. Whether there are other women facing depression who have been compelled or brainwashed, or there are drugs on the campus, all these things need to be investigated. So that part needs to be investigated. But as far as the law is concerned, because the Supreme Court, while hearing the parties, also listened to the girls in chamber. It had those women and it heard them, and the girls said that they had come there out of their own free will. Nobody had forced. So that is the issue, that once these girls who are adults, they are women, and if they are deposing before the court and saying it is our free choice, no authority, no court can force them to come from there. If you remember the Hadia case where they said it was love jihad and she had married, but then she was an adult, she deposed before the Supreme Court and said, look, I have converted, I want to marry this guy, it is my choice, my freedom, and the Supreme Court had to uphold that, and Hadia was sent to her husband. So this is where the constitution comes in. So there is, I would say, constitutional morality. The constitutional morality is upholding the tenets of the constitution, which says that every girl has a choice, freedom to choose a partner, freedom to choose the way she wants to live. So the law is on the side of the girls, and that is why they have got that reprieve from the Supreme Court. But yes, the father, if he feels that his daughters have been brainwashed, there is something hanky panky going on the ashram, then of course he too has a right to get to know what the truth is, and that is where I think the police should be allowed to do its investigation. Father comes and says, my two daughters are there and they are not coming. And in fact, we are told that one of the daughter was threatening the father that I will commit suicide. So to what an extent the mind is controlled? The father has a right to know. Of course, the courts are free. They may not want to come. But if I feel that my daughters are being compromised, I have a right to go. And that is why he filed that habeas corpus. Habeas corpus as a writ of the court also means that I want to see them in person. I want to know how they are. So the father, if the father complains, and what does the law says, that if somebody gives an information, giving an information of a cognizable offense is enough for the police to set the laws of justice in motion. So the police says the police has a right to register an FIR to investigate. And of course, the law also says that if you don't find evidence, you can close the case. But nothing on this earth can stop the police from investigating a matter. This is a very part of the criminal justice system. See, complainant is the father, and if the parents, if they can prove evidence that they have been harassed, of course, then the girl should come forward and lodge a counter FIR on the father. But yes, the Sadguru Foundation is such a powerful organization. You see, they have engaged Mukul Rohtagi in the Supreme Court, and we all know how much he charges. So these organizations have loads of money. They are well connected. I'm sure half of the important people in this country would be their followers. So winning from these organizations is not easy. It would be a tough path for the parents. But yes, if their daughters have themselves voluntarily gone, then the parents cannot do about it. They have to accept the fait accompli. But on the same time, if there are allegations of sexual assault, of violation, of drugs, then the police should go and investigate, and nothing on this earth can stop the police from doing its duty. The issue is here that the country feels, the parents feel that even if women are adults, they have to be under the control of the father, which is not possible. Either the husbands feel or the sons feel. So this patriarchy to some extent is making the father feel that the girls are under the control of the ashram. But if the Supreme Court is satisfied, because Supreme Court talked to those two women, and they had a chamber summons for them, I think, and they did talk to the women. And if the Supreme Court is satisfied that these girls are there voluntarily, they are not being abused, they are happy over there, then no law on this land can force these women to come to the father. The case will fall. The father would not be successful.